He thought he was chasing financial freedom, but along the way, he found something better: a team, a purpose, and something worth building together. What started with cold calls to random apartments in downtown Greenville, just a small side hustle, has grown into hosting over 67,000 guest nights with 21 team members, 115 homes, and 85 incredible homeowners. The journey hasn't always been easy and still isn't, but as he always says, he's just living the dream.
My name is Landon Schlabach, and I'm the founder and CEO of B&B Breeze. I want to share the story of how B&B Breeze came to be. And my story started right where it often does for someone with Amish roots, at a furniture store. That was my first taste of sales, learning how to talk to people who had way more money than I did, which at the time was just about everybody. My family and I were actually in the process of buying that store. That deal would have locked us into the furniture industry for good. But as you can guess, it fell through, and I was left wondering what to do next. I didn't have clear direction, and my wife Kelsey was just 3 months away from giving birth to our first child, Bodhi. I knew I had this entrepreneurial fire inside of me. I wanted to grow and build something, but I didn't know what my niche was yet. So I jumped into flipping houses full time with no backup plan, and let me just say I quickly learned that Chip and Joanna gains are either way better than I thought, or they're lying, because it wasn't looking anything like what you see on HGTV. I did most of the work myself, grinding day in and out just to break even after 6 months. I wasn't getting ahead, so I needed a side hustle, something to help provide for my growing family. On Thanksgiving of 2018, I was in Pennsylvania with my in-laws. One night, a friend, Peter Zook, invited me to a book club at his house. That night completely changed the trajectory of my life. Peter's older brother Dave, someone I really respected, asked me if I'd ever heard of short-term rentals, and specifically a podcast that Mike Dillard had put on. Leading up to that, I had been praying and asking God to show me where He wanted to use me. That moment felt like a spark, like an answered prayer. I went home, bought a course on vacation rentals, and did the most important thing that every new founder does. I started an LLC. I dove headfirst into learning all that I could about short-term rentals, all while still flipping homes. At that point, I wasn't thinking about building a team or leading a company. I just wanted to make a little more money so I could buy my own real estate. So I started walking around downtown Greenville looking at properties that might work as short-term rentals. That's when I saw a sign for a trio loft, a luxury apartment. I called the owners and asked if I could improve and manage their place. It's always tricky getting your first one. You want people to trust your experience, but you don't have any. That's a lesson I've learned over and over. Getting the first one is always the hardest, but you just have to get started. Momentum can build from there. They gave me a shot. In March of 2019, that unit made $440. The next month, under my management, it made $4,400. We were in business. Then, according to Dave Zook, whether this is true or not, he says I basically begged him to let me manage one of their properties. So they gave me a cabin way out in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, just to get me to stop asking. It ended up renting so well they had to urgently block off dates just so they could use it themselves. I like to think I begged with class and honor, but I guess Dave will be the judge of that years later. We grew to 15 to 20 properties before I realized the one-man show thing was not going to cut it. I was doing everything: the books, the listings, the guest communication, pricing, homeowner payouts, way too much for one person to do well. So I made my first hire, Barb Whitbeck. She came in and helped with the chaos. Cool fact, Barb is still with us today, and she's now our cleaner relations manager. She was a lifesaver then and still is now. But it would be a total injustice to B&B Breeze, our guests, and our homeowners if I didn't mention one of the main reasons everything runs so smoothly. My sister, our COO and co-owner, Heather Schlabach.
So Landon talked to me about working for B&B Breeze for quite a while. I didn't think working for my brother seemed like such a good idea, but he shared a vision that really started to resonate with me. I had my dream job working remotely for an academic association, but after years of doing what I had set out to, and quite frankly I loved at the time, I was beginning to lose motivation and excitement for that role. I needed a new challenge. Landon's vision really sparked a new concept for me. Running a business was not something I had planned on or had prepared myself for, but I think God often moves us through life by growing our interests in different areas. I had started to envision exactly what this company could be and how I could bring his vision to life. So I went back to Landon and I told him, I still think it's a bad idea to work for you, but if you make me a partner in this, I think we could build something pretty special. So Landon's a little bit all over the place at times. I can be too, but when I'm around him, I tend to get more focused and detail-oriented. In traction terminology, he is very visionary and I am very much so integrative. So when I first bought in, I had a picture of what this company could be, but I knew the creation process was going to be pretty tough. The first 2 years were a lot of trial and error as we figured out exactly how we were going to build this thing. It wasn't super fun, but because of our different giftings, Landon and I really work well together. And I'm happy to say that right now, I think we have what is the best, most well-performing team ever.
The 5 foundational things we have done at B&B Breeze. Number 1, we've hired good people. I've looked out for them and in turn, they've taken us places I could have never imagined. Number 2, gone all in on hospitality and guest experience. It's something I love in my personal life too. Holding high standards and taking care of people is what keeps our guests and owners coming back. The book Unreasonable Hospitality helps shape that heartbeat in our business. Number 3, never stop learning. I always try to learn from others and figure out how we can improve. Number 4, give more in value than you take in pay. And number 5, and most importantly, I never tried to outsmart my way to success with thousands of business tactics. I just tried to lead by kingdom principles, ones I learned from my father, Jason. Simple things like do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Stewardship, be faithful and steward what God has given me and do it with excellence. And follow God's lead for your business and give Him the glory for what happens. I want to end by sharing our vision and the 3 core principles that guide us at B&B Breeze. Our vision is to deliver the highest ROI possible for STR investors while giving guests incredible experience-driven vacations. And our 3 core values that we stand by at B&B Breeze. Be adaptable, always be a life giver, and pursue excellence. We're far from done pursuing world-class hospitality, and we hope you'll keep following along. And if you've ever stayed with us or worked with us, we're honored to have you in the B&B Breeze family. And if you have not, we hope to see you soon.